So first off, can you just talk about your sort of your progress into film composing and how and your musical journey?
Yeah, I started writing when I was very, very young. And my brother Ralph is the one that taught me into writing for television and movies. And I'm so glad that I listened to him. Sometimes big brothers know best. And I find that this is the career that is meant for me. I would rather do the next big television show or the next big film than to do a record. For example, I love being a part of that crew, that part of that. It's a big machine that it takes to make a film or a television show, and it takes all of us working together and rowing in the same direction to make it work. It doesn't work when we don't get going together and rowing in the same direction. So I'm really, really excited about it. I'm working on a new film called Absolute Dominion, directed by Lexi Alexander, and it's absolutely amazing. I can't wait for people to see it. It is a beautiful, beautiful film that we're getting to do some of the most unique things that I've ever done for a film.
Going off of that, I know for Lexi Alexander, music is an incredibly important thing. I know
Yes.
with her Punisher movie that the
Yes.
music they ended up putting in was something that she was not happy with. So I'm sure that she's really, really into working on making sure that everything is perfect. How has it been working with her? What's that sort of process been like?
It's fabulous. I find Lexi to just be really amazing and very, very unique in her perspective on how things should go. And I just been taking her lead and letting my heart go in different ways. We're using instruments that we've never used before. We're using performers that we've never used before. And I'm just tossing up the apple cart and seeing where everything lands.
So when you say instruments you haven't used before, are they like foreign type instruments or just unique? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, one of them is an instrument called a handpan, which basically hasn't been around for much longer than 25 or 30 years, and we're not just using it as just a little additive to it. We're actually taking some of these unique instruments like that and then building my score around that instrument, so that it leads the charge as it were, and we're very excited about it. I can't wait for people to hear it.
How do you find an instrument like that?
I spent months just trolling around online, talking to other musicians and saying, who's got something unique? What do you want to do? What is it that you do that you've never been able to do in a song or in a piece of score or whatever? And I wanted to start there as opposed to maybe tag it on later. The idea was to start in someplace very unique and special. And I think that we did. By going in the direction of these great musicians, I've been able to expand what it is that we're doing in a very, very powerful way.
That's so cool. So how is your approach to something like Absolute Dominion different than your approach to something like The Proud Family?
Oh, it's a night and day difference. The Absolute Dominion there's a lot that's emotional and very spiritual about it, but there's a lot that's deeply aggressive.
Yeah.
Deeply, profoundly, and we're doing action in some different ways. Sometimes we're doing action. Well, I can't say too much about it, but it's going to be a little bit different than you think. And Proud Family is, it's about the culture. It's about and being representative and being true to this representation in every way that we can be.
Yeah.
And they do such an amazing job. And the actors and writers are just so powerful and unique, and I'm very, very proud to be a part of that show. It's just really close to my heart.
So when you work on something that's like a non-IP property, do you find that filmmakers like to give you a reference of a kind of sound they want, or do you sort of come to them with what you think the sound should sort of be for the score?
Well, there's a little bit of both, and I think that ultimately, I just think that if my score was really great. It might feel like the filmmaker themselves wrote it. You know, if they heard music in their head every day like I do, maybe this might be what would have come out. It's a collaboration. It's a thing that we're getting together and we're going back and forth. And I know at that very moment when I could see in their eyes that I connected, that they're seeing something in their character, you know, that yes, that's what I meant. And if I can get that, yes, that's what I meant moment from my filmmaker, then I feel like I've done my job. And I move it on from there.
For sure. So do you find yourself creating sort of themes for characters or for episodes or, you know?
Both.
Yeah?
Yeah, both. It depends. Some shows that they're that you need a more character-driven sort of melodic piece for them, and some it's just more of a tone in the room. You know, it's like depends on which way I'm going.
Yeah. So for episodic TV, how long do you have to do the composing for each episode?
Never enough. Never enough time. That's the exact amount that we get each time.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, if it's a network show
Yeah.
where those shows are coming on every week, sometimes you're only a week or two ahead of them. I've been closer. I've been days away from,
Right.
you know. And in this age of streaming and cable and whatnot, sometimes you're like months out ahead, and I struggle with which is a better route. You know, having more time to where you just keep rethinking and rethinking, or getting to your first emotion and putting that out there.
Yeah.
You know, because after all, our job is to tell people what to feel. So you want me as close to my emotions as possible. Right?
Do you generally get the full episodes or dailies?
Yeah, we get the lock picture, as they would call it, and at least that's what I prefer as much as possible, and we work from that.
Yeah. If you weren't composing like this, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, geez. I don't know that I could answer that question because I've been hearing melodies in my head since I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything else. I remember talking to an actor friend of mine, and they difficult time in their career, and they said, I don't really know what I'm going to do, Kurt, if this gets any worse, because I have absolutely nothing else that I'm prepared to do. And I feel like that myself. I'm pretty much, this is what I can do. I mean, I'm giving you 110% authentic Kurt every day. There's not something what I'm going to retire from for this and say, oh, that's what I really wanted to do. No, this is it. I get to live my dream every day of my life. How wonderful is that?
That's awesome. And then finally, are any of your kids following in your footsteps, and what do they think of what you do?
Yeah, my son, True, who's here with me today, is getting ready to go off to college, and he's going to take film scoring and major in music and come back and see if he joins the family business.
That's great.
He's amazing. He's just an amazingly talented person, and as is his brother, who's just an amazing artist. Please look up on IG, K-Man Artist.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.